the value of experience. Now, in my experience, when you psych yourself up, if you don't get it done, you'll psych yourself out. So I'm getting this done today. There are so many, as I was preparing for this, there are so many different types of experience I could have actually talked about and focused in on. And all of life is an experience. It's kind of a crazy, you know what, let's just bring this in a little bit tighter. There we go. It's kind of just better for me to rest my leg there. It's kind of a crazy thing really to kind of delve into experience. But what I thought about for this one today is the sought after variety. Value of variety coming up. The sort of thing you would seek out intentionally, not like, oh, this happened and that experience fucked me up. Like, we've all had that, we will all have that. They happen several times in your life. It's how you deal with it that counts, but we'll go there another day. The thing that I wanted is the sought after variety. Now, I was born in 1984, so I turned 40 this year, and I'm so bloody glad that I was born when I was. Because I had the experience as a kid of real kid freedom, being able to go out over the park with my brother, with my friends, with the neighbours and that. You just knock on doors, hey, do you want to come out and play? Do you want to come out and play? And go and knock on the next door, do you want to come? Until there's a whole bunch of you, just go over the park and you play. And you come back when it's dark. And that, as a kid, is, I think, kind of invaluable, really. And we'll talk about these kind of experiences another time. But that real feeling of freedom, and of course there are boundaries, of course, and I've moved around, so I've had the experience of moving a lot in my life, some of it not sought after and some of it sought after, but it's the you know, that pure experience, that innocence of when you're a kid, that you can just enjoy and not worry so much. We didn't watch the news so much. It wasn't all this news about everything that's happening all over the world 24/7 drilled into us. We didn't have phones in our hands non-stop. I really feel for the youth today, and I'm not like, I feel so bad for you. I genuinely feel for you, because you've grown up in a world where you haven't been allowed to have experiences, and parents would have been reprimanded for actually allowing you to walk up the road to school. Like, I got to walk up the road to school on my own. I can't remember what age I was, let's say 7 years old. Now, that would be horrendous. How dare you be such a bad parent and let your kid do that? In comparison, my mum grew up in Hackney, the East End of London, you know, and her upbringing, my upbringing compared to us, unbelievably safe. Okay, so, you know, it's all comparison. It's all, we all kind of get high and mighty about certain things. We all judge about certain things. The value of judgment coming up. But at the same time, you know, there's a balance, isn't it? Balance is key. Time is everything. So long as you can breathe, the rest is easy. There is a balance to all these things, and I do feel the pendulum has swung too much in the other direction, and too many people have been coddled for a bit too long, and there's a lot of fear. Value of fear. We had those videos. There'll be more. Don't worry. There are so many things we're missing out on because we fear so many things, and I get it. There are a lot of things to fear, but in the real world, and I live there every day, and this is how I've managed to get the confidence to actually go into the online world, because I have a lot of support in the real world. But I'm aware that not a lot of people feel like they do have a lot of support in the real world anymore. They feel like this online life is the only life and everything's going that way, and they're more and more isolated from the people next to them, and they walk past them every day, they sit next to them, they're more and more isolated every single day. I'm very, very fortunate. While I am extremely isolated in many ways for my health, I actually have some really, really good people close to me in my life who understand me, at least to a degree, enough for us to really get on and have really good connections. And I'm so glad I have the people in my life that I do, and they are in real life. We have face-to-face interactions. We laugh together, we cry together, we just be silly together. You know, the face-to-face stuff, the in-person interactions. This is why I didn't want to do the online thing. I want the in-person interactions, but I realised value opposite, obviously value the opposite coming up. I've said that several times already in other videos. I have to reach out online first to be able to do the in real life stuff. So there's certain things that nowadays people are only watching. They're watching someone else doing it. They're kind of living vicariously, and they're having other people's experiences, but they're not even having other people's experiences. They're having a snapshot, a snippet, a take, an angle on someone else's experience. And that's the other really, really tough thing. Less and less, let's say now, are we having our own in real life experiences? And I think it needs to stop. I think we need to have much more in-person shit going on in our lives, okay? Obviously, it's comparative to your situation, but sort of things I've had the absolute pleasure and privilege of being able to do. I've been so fortunate. That's the thing. I've some may say I've been cursed in my life with the illness that I've struggled with, but I've also been so blessed. It's all balance at the end of the day. I've been so unbelievably blessed to be able to do these things. I've travelled 35 plus countries around the world. It has been a phenomenal experience, and I have loved almost every minute of it. You've got to seek out what you want to do in these kind of places. You can't just, I don't know, I was going to, like, anything. Well, no, because a lot of places you could get mugged and shot. So, be careful, behave, like, think about what you want to do and plan and prepare and, practice maybe the things that we've spoken about before. But travel is a phenomenal experience. It broadens the mind, okay? It really does. I know it's been said 1,000 times, but you get a different perspective on things. You get to see there is another way of life. You get to understand, oh shit, I am so privileged in so many ways. I had no idea. And in other ways, you get to think, do you know what? This is lovely, that's lovely, this is a really nice part of the world. And you can't have everything. At any point in time, you can't have everything. But it is lovely to be able to go and, I'm going to go to one of the most beautiful beaches. I'm going to go and scuba dive in one of those beautiful places. I'm going to take this motorbike up around these hills. It's phenomenal, okay? If you get a chance to travel, if you can make yourself the opportunity to travel, do it, okay? It is the next thing. It's a hard task. It can be a really hard task just deciding what to pack in a bag. It can be a hard task lugging that bag around, booking a ticket. It can be a hard task saving up. There's hard tasks. And a lot of people nowadays, they're not down for the hard tasks. They just want the easy option. They're not really seeking out tough experiences. But when you seek out a tough experience, you know what it is when you're going into it. You ask for it because you know the rewards are worth it on the other side. You seek out the tough experience because you're getting so much more from life. Your life is so much more rich as a result. And if you always play on soft or easy mode, then there's a lot you're going to struggle with. Whereas if you opt for hard mode, so many other things become so much easier. Okay, that is the beautiful irony of life, and I'm such a fan of irony. So opting in for hard tasks, do it. In real life, hard task. And this is one of the things, the F3 boys, the first F in F3 is fitness. And you opt in for fitness. It's early in the morning, it's cold, it's wet, it's whatever, and you opt in for that. You opt in for that hard task at the start of the day because it sets you up for the rest of the day. It toughens you up as a person, mentally and physically. As I say, the human is one thing. It toughens you up as the human you are. It is a phenomenal thing to do, opting in for the hard task. So I've also been fortunate enough to be on stage in many different ways, shapes and forms. And again, being able to command a theatre or a school of 800 or whatever, on your own as well, and making it up as you go along, exactly like I do with these videos. It gives you an element of ability and confidence to go with that, to say, you know what, I can handle, so long as I can breathe, the rest of these, I can handle most situations. As long as I'm feeling okay enough, I'm pretty confident in most situations that, yeah, I've got this. If the conversation comes to me, it's cool, I've got this. If I'm telling a story and all of a sudden there are 100 people listening, that's cool, I got this, I can do this. Because I've done it and done it and done it and done it so many times. It's not even second nature, it's just my nature. So being on stage, if you get a chance, I think it was Jimmy Carr was chatting to Chris Williamson on Modern Wisdom podcast, and he was saying he believes that it should be taught, stand-up comedy should be taught in schools, as in you prepare a speech, a little something, a 5-minute, a little something about something that you've got to present to the class, but it's got to take on an element of humour. The idea is that people like humour. People don't like people are all serious all the time. Imagine if I sat here and I talked to you in this really monotony, you'd be like, switch off, mate, can't be doing with it. I've got me water over there. Yeah, I'm pretty animated. So when you deliver something like that, you've got to keep people entertained. You've got to keep people engaged. And that's how you open their minds. They're like, wow. And then you put the seeds in. Oh, shit. And then stuff starts to grow. And you encourage them to nurture that. Yeah, that's how it works. So if you have the ability to stand up on stage and take control of a room, wow, man, you have the ability to change lives. It's fantastic. So just getting some of that in, just practice, having the experience. Yeah, it's going to be terrifying. Yeah, you're going to mess it up. Yeah, you might look like a fool. Yeah. It's how you deal with it, isn't it? Again, you could look like a fool and you can cower and you can crumble and you can never do it again. Or you can go, great, I got that out of the way. That's done. I know how that feels. I'm not dead. No one blew me head off. I still got to go home. I still got a kip. I still got some food. All of these things, I'm still alive. So what's the worst? No, the worst is it happened already and I can keep going. That's the beauty of these kind of things when you opt in for these kind of things. Leading. Now, I lead often, but I rarely want to lead. It's often like, can you lead? Yeah, sure, I'll lead. I'm happy to. I won't be one of these people who stands up straight away and says, I'll lead, please follow me. I'm happy to go first. I'm always happy to go first. I'm happy to be an example. Whether I get it right or wrong doesn't matter to me. It's like, well, look, I'll give you the go first. This is what I think it is. I'm confident enough to fuck it up, basically. That's what it is. I'm confident enough, worst case. You know, and literally just, can you take it on the chin? Life will give you a lot of shots. Can you take them on the chin? That's it. And you go, yeah, I've taken so much on the chin in my life. I'll take another few. It's fine. I know it's scary, but the idea of it is way worse. The idea of these scary experiences, chances are, real chances are, it ain't going to be like that. It's not going to be worst case. It's going to be so much more mild, or maybe even good case. But we don't think like that. As human beings, we always think, the worst thing. Leading, if you can, just opt in. You might not want it, but just opt in to lead. See what it's like to lead. Yeah? And then also follow. Some people just like, I'll lead. They can't follow. They can't just sit the fuck down, shut up and learn something. Heaven forbid, they're too proud. Power of pride coming up. The idea that they might not be able to do the best thing in the situation. Some people, that's just some people. But learning to follow, humbling oneself to follow and say, yeah, cool, I'll follow you. I'm happy to follow you, mate. You take the lead. And then when someone goes, can you lead? Cool, I'm happy to step up and I'll take the lead. And being able to do both and switch them in and out, it's a really, really good skill to have. So opting in for those experiences. Teaching and learning, same kind of deal. Okay, teaching and learning. If you learn something, teach it, and then you really understand it. Because there are many, many, many ways to get someone to do the same thing. You've just got to make sure you get the right angle for them. Everyone can learn a thing. It's just whether or not you can explain it to them in the way that they get it. That's the tough thing. So learning to teach and then also learning to learn. So many people don't learn how to learn. There's a skill. Okay, there's a skill of how to learn. There's a skill of how to teach. Opting in for both of those experiences. There's various different ways of doing it. Myself, I just chuck myself in at the deep end. But you don't have to do that. You can baby step your way into all of this stuff. And I do recommend it. It's being thrown at the deep end, super scary. However, if you've had the experience, which I'm going to talk about another day, where it just happens to you and you get no say, the only say you have is in how you deal with that experience, then when you've been chucked in that deep end time and time again, and it's not any deep, but there are scary things all around trying to eat you, then the other things that people find scary aren't as scary to you. That's, that kind of idea with that. Business, I've been very, very fortunate to have had a business. I've been very, very fortunate to have literally built it from scratch. I built things with my hands. I built this room that we're in right now. I built the drum room. I love to build things. I also invented stuff for that. I love to just create. So I created a whole teaching material. So I wrote a book. I haven't written a word book, but I wrote music books. I've had that experience. I opted in. I remember doing that in hospital. I was really ill, but I'd written over the years, I'd teach it and teach it and teach. So I'm still holding my water. I would teach it until I get on a roll. And momentum coming up. So I would then scribble it down, make it a bit neater, photocopy that, and then think, do you know what? I need to make a whole book. So I was in hospital and, wouldn't have opted in for that. But what I did opt in is, no, I need to get this bloody book done. So I was writing in neat. And the nurse is trying to come in and I'm like, can you bloody go away? I'm trying to write in neat. And I was using a ruler for all the bits and making it as neat as I possibly could, but in a real simple format for kids 4 years and up, so that they can read it and understand it's not too musical too soon. It's all nice and neat and it progresses on. And I put all of this stuff and I wrote it all in neat in this 2-week stay in hospital. I opted in for that. I wanted it so bad. This and this and this. I'm going to do this and this and this. So you think, 2 weeks in hospital, you've got all the excuses to sit around, scratch your ass and sniff it and do nothing and have people wait on you hand and foot. But trust me, when you've done that for many years, you just think, I just want to get on with stuff. This is an inconvenience. It's kind of annoying. You know, I want to be able to do things and I'm being held back. And so, yeah, you know, again, opting in for those harder tasks. Now, I'm very, very, very glad that I actually believed, because I was told by doctors, that I was going to die young. Because that fear gave me that push that I needed to really fully experience life. Really, really. So as I said, I turned 40 this year, but I feel like I've lived 1,000 lifetimes sometimes. I always say that. I'm so exhausted. But I really lived the fuck out of my life before I died and then recovered and now I'm here again. It was a mad one. It was just crazy. Well ill, but I was only well for such a small amount of time. So I just, you know, hell for leather kind of a guy, you know, yes to everything kind of a person. But it's that opting in for these kind of experiences, right? Now, I've already done 16 minutes. So actually what I really want to talk about, which I'm going to now put in another video, is the real best experience of life. And that is love, value of love coming up. But the love that you feel, so if you're a heterosexual man, you see a woman, you're like, oh, all the naughty things that go through my mind. But of course, you can't just do that. You have to be a gentleman. You have to be a proper human being too, because they're a human being as well. They might have had all naughty things in there. Oh, that guy over there. Oh. But you've got to approach each other like civilized humans, right? And this is where we're kind of getting a bit stuck now. That experience has been lost. People have been locked down in COVID, and you know, a lot of this whole in real life thing, people are struggling. People are really struggling how it works, right? So that experience is the most scary experience to do. If you're a guy and you've never approached a girl before, and there's girls out there, women out there, ladies, whatever you want to call. We used to call them birds. We used to say, oh yeah, this bird, that bird. I've been trying not to use the word bird. So now I say girls, women, ladies. I don't know what to pick at the moment. But anyway, so you get that urge, you just feel, right? And you just go, well, clearly I'm only going over there because my brain just goes, oi, you want to fuck that? And you're like, yeah, of course, oi, I want to fuck that. But I need to articulate it better than that. I need to behave like a proper human being because I've got more to offer. She's got more to offer. Of course, that's where my base urges are taking me. That's where my horniness, value of horniness going up. So my hormones are doing, that's just because we're animals. That's like human nature. But also our human nature is empathy and understanding and humour and all these other things that are coming up. So you can't just have that first and foremost. So yes, of course, you're going up with that approach of like, I think you're hot. But I also want to know if there's a proper human being behind there. And if so, I'd like to get to know that human being, because eventually I'd like to get naked with you and cuddle and do other things, because that's just the best thing ever. And it fucking is. Because I see these things happening, and I've been, as I say, watching the whole dating thing, and it's like men are hating women, women are hating men, and I kind of, from my own experience, of thinking, yeah, you know, women do this, and yeah, women do. Oh, yeah, but mate, women are also wonderful. They're fucking lovely. They're soft. They're beautiful. They're tender. They're gorgeous. They are all the amazing things that I'm not and more. But also men are all, they're great. Men are fucking great. Now, we can be awkward and stinky and disgusting, and some need to brush their teeth more, and some need to do their nails more. And yes, ladies, I agree. We need to sort ourselves out. I'm with you on that, right? I moved out when I was 16. I was doing my own washing, my cooking, my cleaning, everything. Okay, I've always been very, very self-sufficient my whole life. So I'm always shocked when people aren't. But help us out. If we're that kind of guy, you see the potential, help us out. Let us know. A lot of guys, they're so fearful of making the approach. They just need that, there is a human over here. That's it. Just not that, you know, none of the attitude. Just let's all drop the attitude for a second, right? Let's just drop the animosity and go, I know you're a struggling human. I too am a struggling human. I do have things to offer. There are things I need, of course. Are these sorts of things that we can, you know, exchange and benefit with? You know, if not, no worries, no harm. You looked cute. You look like someone who I might want to hang out with. You know, I'd like to roll over in the morning and look at someone like you. That's it, that's all it is, a compliment, but we don't deliver it as such. We really struggle with this, as I say, it's like that at the moment, and it needs to be like this, because that real human experience is, in my opinion, just the most fucking phenomenal human experience there is, okay? Like naked cuddling, oh my days, seriously, if you've never tried it, find someone you trust, and this is the thing, value of trust coming up. We struggle with trust because there's everything is a show, a persona. Everything is a marketing angle. Everything is just there to get your attention. It's clickbait. So we've lost that ability to trust. And because we live so online and so through our phones, we think everyone's out to deceive us. But in real life, when I approach women, ladies, girls, whatever you want to call them, of all ages and shapes and sizes, I approach guys as well all the time. Some guys are like, mm. But a lot of them, because they see me, my thing is, right, I can look really mean and horrible, but if I smile, my whole face changes. I'm really chatty, I'm really, well, exactly like this, like I'm in the videos. I am like that in real life. I can be really mean. I can be exactly like you think I would be. But, you know, I'm also, like, don't ever give me a reason to be like that, and I'm not like that. You know, smile at me, laugh with me, just like, let's have interactions and deep conversations about all sorts and the rest of it. I'm down for that. If you like kind of look at me sideways like, psh, I'm like, all right, psh, you know, but that's how we all feel. I'm just really straightforward and honest with it. And I chat to people all the time in real life. And I get a really good response because I just literally just chat to them like this. Like they're my mate straight away. Yeah, and I just, everything is just, I want to make people feel included. I want to bring people together versus drive people apart. That's just my thing. I know what it's like to be so distanced from people and to feel so torn, and I just don't want people to feel like that. I want to be able to bring people together, and I want to bring people together in real life. And the way I do that is I just bloody chat to everyone. Oh, so-and-so, you met so-and-so, oh, blah, 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 blah. You know, and that's just how I do things. It's not even that I tried, that is just my nature. So, what I would say with experiences, like I said earlier, baby step your way in. Okay? If you go extreme straight away, that stretches you as a person, and there's a very good chance that it's going to damage you. It's too much too soon. Okay, as I say, sometimes experiences happen to us and they do break us a bit. They cause trauma and they cause long-lasting effects, some from which we may never heal. My lungs are scarred. There's certain parts of my body that are scarred. Will never heal, but that's okay. The human is really adaptable. The value of adaptability coming up. And it can adjust and it can compensate and it can operate perfectly fine around these things. Past a certain point, but then that's balance, isn't it? You know, but keep it within balance and it's all good. So I do recommend baby stepping your experiences, but opting in for the tough things, opting in for all the things you kind of, oh, that would be lovely, this would be lovely, you find yourself watching on the screen. Make it happen for yourselves in your own life. And here's one thing, if you've not done it so far, like and subscribe.